Hello guys, welcome to my class on Unacademy. This is another of the sessions that I take from special class. And today we'll be discussing the speaking module. Let's wait for a couple of minutes and let more people to join in. Meanwhile, if you are a part of different social media groups and you could share the link and ask your friends to join in, it would be great so we could have a more interactive and fun session. Do share the link, guys. For a change, I'm right on time today. And I've changed my location from where I generally sit because it was occupied already and I could not go to that place. So let me know if my voice quality and the camera quality is okay because at this location I'm sitting for the first time. So keep responding and let me know. Okay, perfect. So are you guys all preparing for the academic test or the general training test? Have you started your preparation? Tell me briefly about you guys. Is it academic or general training? Because today we're discussing, as we know, we're discussing the speaking module, and it remains same for both academic and general training. So you do not need to worry about any specific category of the test here. It all remains the same when it comes to the speaking module. Okay, Chandan says academic. Okay, Chandan. Who else? Who else has started to decide at least which category they are giving the exam in? So as I've rightly as you all can see, I put a question, two words, and I put a question here: banal or amusing. Any guesses why? Any guesses why? What is the meaning of banal? What is the meaning of banal? Any guesses? What's the meaning of banal? Banal means when we keep using the same words or incidents again and again, and it all sounds very repetitive and boring. Yeah, and amusing is, as we all know, it's something quite funny, quite hilarious. Yeah. So why I put this up right in my topic of today's class is because this is one of the most common questions that people have in their mind, right? What is the format of the speaking that they do, right? How are they supposed to talk? Are they supposed to be formal, informal? What if they sound boring, right? What if they sound boring? Or are they supposed to put some punchlines and sound funny? What are they supposed to do? Isn't it? This is the main fundamental doubt that everybody has in their mind. Is it going to be like an interview sort of a room, or are we supposed to talk a bit friendly? Hello, guys. People who are joining in, can you please, guys, share the link so you can invite more of your friends here? Anyways, so by the end of this class today, I'm sure you're going to be able to answer. You'll have an answer to this particular question. Yeah? So for all those who are joining the special class for the first time, I would just briefly tell you what is the importance of the special class, right? So the special class is a very interesting platform provided by Unacademy, which gives you an experience of Plus for free, right? The Plus courses that Unacademy has for free, right? And it gives you a first hand-on understanding of how your tutors are, what sort of content they have, how do they teach, right? How do they speak? Are you able to connect with them? Are you able to understand what they're speaking, right? Which is so unlike to what you would experience when you go to a physical classroom, right? You go to a physical classroom, you pay your money, and in spite of you liking them or not liking them, you are stuck there, isn't it? So unlike those physical classrooms, this gives you a platform where you can analyze your tutors, your educators, and then go ahead with them and join their plus courses, right? So this is a very crucial class for you guys, so you can analyze your tutors and decide if you are getting comfortable with them or not. Yeah, so make good use of this. So I'll quickly introduce myself for all those who are joining in for the first time. I can see a lot of new names. Hello, guys. How many of you have joined for the first time today? So many of you guys. Good. So I need to explain who I am, isn't it? Great. So professionally, I work as an architect and an urban designer. I will change the color of the pen here. Yeah, I think red would work better. Yes. So as I was saying, I'm Meenaal, and professionally, I work as an architect and an urban designer. I did bachelor's from Birla Institute of Technology, that's in Mesra, Ranchi. And from there on, I moved to London, where I did MR from A School of Architecture. I have worked in some cities in India, Dubai, as well as in London. I've been in London for the past 2 years, and I lived, worked, and studied there. And I got back recently in June this year. I got back, and I have been teaching IELTS for around 3 years now on different platforms, but I'm relatively new on Unacademy. But I've been teaching, I've been helping a lot of my friends, colleagues, seniors, juniors on different platforms. Yeah, so this is the first time when I finally come to a very organized, structured platform, right? That's Unacademy. So I gave us back in 2000, I guess 2016, and I got an overall band score of 7.5. I put up my speaking band scores here. Yeah, I got a speaking band score of 7.5, right? And I also gave UKVI in 2017, I guess, when I finally decided that I need to I'm moving to UK, and the university that I picked, they had a very precise requirement for a UK visa and immigration. Here, UKVI stands for visa and immigration. So that's when I had to give. But it is a very specific exam, relatively more expensive than the general IELTS one. But it's not necessary. If you're going to UK, you have to opt for that. But there's some universities that are quite specific about it. So do make sure you're carefully analyzing the requirements of the university that you're picking on. Yeah, and I've actually put up my test report form in the first class that I've taken for special class that I took on 1st of October, and it was an overview class. So in case you're interested to see how a test report form looks like, you can definitely go back to my special class on the first one and give a look. Yeah. So quickly, I'll tell you about the three ongoing courses, right? There's one going on the reading module that goes at 10 at night, 10 p.m. at night. Another one is on the English grammar that is designed specifically for the IELTS exam. I've comprised it very clearly that it covers only things that you need to know in your for your IELTS preparation, right? And that goes on for every day at 11 a.m. in the morning, right? And there's a new course that has come out on popular demand. So many people were asking me a lot of questions regarding the writing module. So it's finally come up. It's starting from 19th of October, right? And it will be starting at 9:30 a.m at 9:30 p.m. at night. Yeah. So I'll go in detail about it in the later stage of the class. But yes, so this is just these are the three courses that I've launched. I'll go in depth about the description of the course starting on 19 on the later stage. Jashandeep says sentence making also. Are you talking about the reading module? There's one category, sentence completion sort of a question. What exactly are you talking about? Are you talking about in terms of grammar? Guys, in case you find like I'm going too fast or you have any difficulty in understanding any word or statement that I say, you can stop me in between, comment, and ask again. Yeah. So I'll quickly this particular class we are discussing specifically this section 2 of the speaking part, but I'll quickly brief about the overall test as well for all those who are listening for the first time. So your speaking test, that is the last test after you finish your listening, reading, and writing, then you come down to the speaking module, right? Generally, it happens on the same day after a break. After a break, when you finish your 3 exams, yeah. But sometimes in some cities they also organize it after a day or after a couple of days, right? So it varies depending on city to city, depending on the centers you pick, right? But mostly it happens on the very same day and you just get a break of half an hour or something, right? So your speaking test is the last test, and it includes 11 to 14 minutes, right? And it consists of an introduction section. Along with it, there are 3 parts as well. Yeah. So your introduction section is just for 30 seconds, right? It's just where you will be asked for your passport. There'll be a very brief introduction about the examiner. He or she is going to tell you about him or her, and they'll ask your name and basic details. Yeah. And then it will be following up by part 1, which will be an interview round. It will be carrying for 3.5 to 4.5 minutes, right? Next would be the long term round, which would go for 3 to 4 minutes. And the part 3, the final round, would be the discussion round, which will go for 4 to 5 minutes. Yeah. And today we are going to be focusing on the second part specifically, because this is one part which people find to be very intimidating, because unlike the other parts, it's a more of a dialogue conversation that happens. You people, the examiner, he'll ask you something, and you can easily go forth and back and re-question, and there'll be so many questions that can happen again and again. But in the long term, why is it difficult? Because it's not a dialogue conversation. It's straight away a conversation that you have to keep talking on a particular topic, which I'll tell you what it is exactly like. But it's relatively a bit more difficult than the other parts. So yeah, as I said, we're discussing the section 2 today in detail. So the basic criteria for marking in the speaking module are: number 1, the fluency and cohesion. What is fluency and cohesion? Any guesses? This is again a very common misconception that people have in terms of fluency and cohesion. What does cohesion means? Way of speaking. Can you elaborate a bit more, Chandan? What do you mean? What do you mean by saying way of speaking? Are you talking about pronunciation? Are you talking about any accent? Are you talking about speed? What exactly are you talking about? Okay. Fennel says the flow of speaking. Okay. And Jashandeep says speed of speaking. Okay. Actually, finally, you're right. It's actually the flow of speaking, right? Jashandeep, you do not need to focus on the speed. This is again, as I was saying, it's a very common misconception. They would not count how fast you speak. You can go consistently, but you need to keep talking. Instead of doing like and all those sort of things, right? You can go slow, take little bit of time, have a little consistent speed, but the fluency is the flow. It should keep going ahead, and you're not taking a lot of pauses, right? And another way where you can keep your fluency going, in case you, like for example, they ask you something, right, and you need couple of seconds to quickly catch on it, you can ask, you can put some common statements, like for example, they ask you, who is your where do you like to go in the evening, right? And you need a couple of seconds to think. Then you can use statements that will stop their attention for a while. For example, I would say, that is a really interesting question. I did not think about it so much before. Like these sort of statements that are very, very common, but that's giving me a time, and at the same time, it's showing the examiner that I have things to talk on, right? They're not checking on how fast I say things or what my content is, right? But they're checking my English. So fluency would help me get better marks, even if I'm talking like about not something very like very logical. It does not matter. But instead of breaking your things because you're trying to go fast, go slow, go moderate, but go with a certain standard flow. Yeah. Cohesion, yes, cohesion. What is cohesion? Is like, for example, if you need to have like a structure, right? How you're organizing what you're speaking is very important, right? For example, if you're like take day to day incident, right? If somebody asks you, what did you do today? Like, what did you do today? You cannot suddenly start from, I had a tea in the evening and then I had breakfast in the morning, right? You do not do it. So similarly, it was just a very vague, easy example that I gave, but right, you would obviously start right from the beginning, right? How, when you got up, what breakfast did you have, and then you'll follow up your lunch and your evening and your dinner, right? That's how you go. So there's the cohesion is how you structure what you're talking, what if your order is going correct, if there's certain sense of connection between your statements that is following up. Yeah, is that clear? So that is very, very important here. Next is vocabulary, for sure. Instead of using very common words like good, bad, right? You can definitely use better words, right? Avoid using the most obvious words. You don't need to start using like very complicated words. Start throwing words that are uh, like you suddenly start all the difficult words in front of them. That is not required. It is not a test where you have to actually put out everything, but use little better words. Yeah, which will come obviously by practice. Next is pronunciation, right? Another misconception: stick to your own pronunciation. You do not need to throw any sort of pronunciation, either like trying to catch on your British accent, try to catch on the American accent, right? Try to stick to what your pronunciation. It just needs to be the correct pronunciation. Do not confuse it with an accent. Yeah, do not confuse it with accent. Stick to whatever pronunciation you have. Yeah. And the last one would be the grammatical range and accuracy, right? That's definitely a part of your English language. So you need to make sure you're going grammatically correct. Yeah. So all of the 4 points carry equal weightage, as you can see. So we need to make sure we're working on all of them. Yeah. So a quick guideline, right? Before I go ahead and go very descriptive about the section 2. The speaking test is face to face with an examiner in a private room. It holds both for paper-based as well as computer-based tests, right? So even if you're planning to give computer-based or paper-based, whichever one you choose, depending on your preferences, the speaking test will always be taking place face-to-face, which is so unlike when you give TOEFL, right? It's always you give your speaking test as well on the camera. Yeah, but in IELTS, you have to give the speaking test while you're facing the person. Yeah. The next one is, yes, it remains, as I was saying right at the beginning, it remains general. It remains same for academic as well as the general training test, right? Another point that I put it here, which might sound silly, is that the entire session gets recorded. Why I did put it up here is because some people tend to get intimidated when they know that they're getting recorded, right? So just get a bit used to it, and like accept the fact that it's going to get recorded, so you don't get intimidated in case you do. Because the moment you enter, after your introduction is over, right, your the first, second, and third part, all three of them are going to be recorded. Yeah. This would be informal speaking test, which should be treated formally, right? So it is going to be an informal speaking test, right? But I've mentioned it to be treated as formally. Why? Because you cannot start joking around. You need to maintain your the correct. Hi, Vakas. Yes, you're late. Anyways, you haven't missed on anything much. Yes. So you still need to maintain your formal attitude, right? You do not need to go at a level where you go for an interview, right? Where you're becoming extremely, extremely formal. But at the same time, in the speaking section, you have to maintain your a certain level where you are going informal as well, but you are not putting up very slang language or any sort of unnecessary jovial behavior. Stick to being formal, but talk about it in a very informal language. Yeah. Next is time and length of each question will be monitored and controlled by the examiner taking the test, right? So why I put it up here is that we get so conscious about, oh, okay, I have to talk for 2 minutes now. So should I, like some people start monitoring their watches and all. So in those scenarios, people tend to lose their attention on what they're talking because they start monitoring time. So just a quick note here: do not worry about the time and the length of what you're talking. You just have to keep talking. The examiner is handling everything for you, right? So where it needs to stop, where you need to start, it's all going to be monitored by the examiner. So don't worry about that. So let's go to the second part, which is called the long term part. Yeah. So what will exactly happen in this part is that you would be given a topic card, right? A topic card will be given where your heading would be written, and along with it, you would be given a paper and something to write on with it. Okay. Then they would give you a minute, right, to prepare on the topic and to structure it down, right? They would give you, after they give you the topic card or the cue card as well, it's also called a cue card, and they would give you 1 minute along with the paper, and they'll give you this 1 minute for preparing, right, where you will be putting out points, which will be putting out ideas, start structuring it. We'll go in detail how you have to, because this 1 minute is very, very important to do better in your following 2 minutes. Yeah, so we'll discuss this 1 minute in detail. Then after 1 minute is over, you will be asked to talk on the topic for 1 to 2 minutes straight, right? And you do not have to monitor time here again. You keep on talking till this other person asks you to stop. So keep on talking. The moment you, like, if in case you stopped in between 1 minute 40 seconds, something like that, you tend to lose scores there. So do not stop unless you're asked to stop. Keep on talking. Yeah. Okay, last topic is, the topics are related to any story that you can connect with event in your life, right? Some people tend to panic about the fact that the topics that would be that they would be asking would be something that you would not be aware of and you would not know what to talk on, isn't it? Like for example, if they suddenly ask about some specific information about the government, I would get intimidated, right? So just like that, don't worry about any of those topics, because the topics are going to be very, very relatively very easy, because it will help you bring out any real life incidents in terms of, like, for example, I've put few here, like journey, family, language, music, sports, like these sort of things where you can easily connect with your real life. Yeah. Because in speaking tests, they're not testing your logic or your IQ level by any chance. This is an English test. They want to see how well you can speak. You have a command over your language, basically. Yeah, they're not going to check your IQ, which is required though. But yes, is this all clear till now what I'm talking, or you guys have any queries? No queries? Okay, so I'll move ahead. There are some common mistakes in this particular section. Yeah, the common mistake where people tend to score, like, do and score less than 6. If you're targeting a band score above 6 and 7, you need to remember these points and avoid doing mistake on, because this is a very common mistake that people do, right? Let's look at it one by one. Don't speak for the full 2 minutes, right? People tend to not speak for full 2 minutes. Once their points that they've written on the paper, it's over, they tend to stop. And as I said just in my previous slide, that do not worry about if you're about your time. And even if your topic is over, unless the examiner stops, you're supposed to keep talking. Yeah, do not stop in between by any chance. Next is run out of things to say, right? It's kind of related why you stop, right? So you've written some 10 points on your paper, right? And they are like, you used all of those points and you finished what you had to say, and now you do not have anything to say, so you stop, right? So that's another common mistake. And having an unstructured talk, having an unstructured talk, again, it's saying that cohesion, right? We just discussed in the point where we're talking about fluency and cohesion. So organization and order and structure is very crucial. Yeah. Next is read their notes rather than speak naturally. What happens here is many people, since they've written a lot of notes in that 1 minute, they keep reading it from their notes, and instead of facing and having an eye contact with the examiner, they keep going back and forth to their notes, which you have to, but it doesn't mean you need to keep sticking to what it is, what's there in your notes, right? Because that, first of all, that shows lack of confidence on your language. Yeah. And secondly, it shows that you are not fluent with your language, you're not fluent, right? So avoid doing that. You can, yes, you can find your keywords, which you can look, and you can, you go back forth and face your examiner and talk with them. Yeah. Next one is panic because they think they know nothing about the topic, right? And okay, we have more people joining in. Hello, Saurabh. You're a bit late today. Hi, Ashu. So, yes, as I was saying, the topics are going to be very, very, in terms of very relevant in terms of your real life experiences. And even if you've not been part of it, you can make up your own story and talk. It's not going to be some science related question which you would not be able to answer. Yeah. So even if, for example, they talk about some Gucci bag, right? But you don't have a Gucci bag, but you can still talk about it, isn't it? I can talk. Okay, sad to know about this, Saurabh. I hope you get well soon. Yeah, is this clear? So you need to avoid doing these common mistakes. So in this particular class, the ones that I've marked here, we'll be working on these 2 points specifically. We'll see how we can get better on this, and why this basically these 2 points happen is that why I feel that people go wrong in this is because they do not manage their 1 minute of preparation time, right? So I've put up a strategy, right? I've put up a planning strategy how you can best utilize that 1 minute, right? And also for that 1 minute, use it to only do, to strategize. What happens generally is people use their 30 seconds in writing the points, and they use 30 seconds while preparing. I used to do the same mistake, right? Do not do that. Go for an impromptu conversation, but use that 1 minute to completely structure your points. Because the more point you have, the more structured formation you have, you're going to perform better. So don't use your that any of your part in that 1 minute to practice. Do not go for practice. That's a wrong technique. Go, trust yourself. Go for an impromptu discussion. Yeah. So let's see how you can plan out this 1 minute. So I've put up an example, and while going ahead with the example, I'll tell you how you can plan out your 1 minute. So the question here says, so you get a cue card or your topic card, and it says describe something healthy you enjoy doing, and it would be followed by saying you should say what you do, where you do it, what do you do with it, and explain why you think doing this is healthy. Right? So this is your question. So we'll see step by step what are we supposed to do in this. Yeah? Step 1 says pick out the keywords from the bullet points and make a note and add question prompts. Yeah? What are question prompts? What are the keywords? So let's see here. So the moment I see, and I have a couple of things that I can quickly put a note on is words like what, where, who, and why, right? So we'll quickly write in our on the paper that we get, right? So that's your step 1. I want you guys to do this along with me too. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly catch on these words: what, where, who, and why. What, where, who, and why, right? So I've put up all the keywords, right? All the question prompts that were there. And what is the saying that I can add additional ones, right? You can maybe add how, right? Or maybe when, right? Because this will help you form question statements that is automatically start giving you more and more answers to talk about, right? So this is going to help you. So what you do is add more of the question prompts as much as you can. And if you think suddenly of a point that is not actually in terms of a question that you would follow up, but it's a very generic statement that you want to say, put a category that says other. Yeah, put a category that says other. So you quickly have your keywords written on your paper, right? Are you guys writing as well? Do you want to add any of more question prompts? Any of the more question prompts? Guys, I actually had put up a warning when I was describing this class that it's going to be fun and interactive. So keep answering, because I've been observing that I talk a lot in my class, and so today I want you guys to talk. So what are the other any suggestions for more question prompts that you can quickly quickly write down, which will help you find more things to talk on? Any more question words or any other related topics? Okay, that's a good one. Yes, with whom? Anyone else? Any more? Take this as a practice session. So you're utilizing your time by not just listening, but actually you're practicing as well. Yeah? Any more? Any more? Ajay wants to speak fluently. Yes, you'll be able to do it if you practice. I have a couple of recommendations that I can give you at the end of the class. Yeah. Anyways, I have put up a quick note here as well. Let's see what it says. You don't have to use all the bullet points. Yeah, you do not need to use each and every bullet sub points that are given, right? This is something that most of the people are not aware of, and they keep sticking to these bullet points and go around them, right? So it's not necessary to stick to them. If there's another point that gives you more clarification on the statement that is put up there, you can definitely use it, right? And as it says, you can talk about other things as well. You don't have to stick to those sub statements that are given to you. You need to stick to your main statement. That is the crucial point, right? That's the most crucial point. But you can have you do not need to stick to all of these. In case you have like for example, if you have a whom related following up words, right, following up statements, you can use whom and talk about it. Yeah. So your step 1 is finding your keywords, listing is down, and finding an additional key prompts that will help you make more and more statements. Yeah. Next step is make some notes using each question prompts as a headline, ideally in 30 seconds. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to quickly write word or phrases in front of them in actually 30 seconds. So this is something that you guys are going to do. I have put up mine in the following up slide, but I need you guys to tell me. Something healthy you enjoy doing. I'll give you some time. You can actually take more than 30 seconds, but make sure you do it. Sorry. I'm getting better with my writing on this pen tab. Still, it's quite disappointing. Okay, we have a long message here. Waqas has got points on all of them. So Waqas says, what? Morning run. Okay. For what? He says, morning run. Where is local park? With who? With my dog. Dog. Guys, I hope you guys are trying as well. Yes, so why keep me healthy and fresh throughout the day? Healthy and fresh. Yeah. How? Morning running and eating healthy. Okay. Diet, basically, and run. And what else? 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Who else is trying? Something healthy you enjoy doing. It's quite an easy topic, isn't it, guys? It could be anything. Anything in terms of food, in terms of exercises, in terms of either going to gym or doing yoga or having a quite a balanced diet. Okay, Saurav has an answer too. Guys, please keep trying. Okay, so regular meditation would come under what, isn't it? Regular meditation. I hope my writing is a bit legible to you guys. Then you said jogging in the park. It's part of running, isn't it? Jogging. Fresh. Okay, fresh we already have. Okay, it makes you fresh. It makes you relax and calm. Okay. Yes, we have more people commenting here. Okay, Saurav says I'm at office. Where? Okay, generally do it at office. Good, you have a nice gym there. Thanks, Waqas. I'm actually trying hard. I remember my day one. It was so illegible. I couldn't read myself. Okay. There's another one coming up where it says, what evening playing football? Yes. Where? City Stadium. Evening. Okay. How healthy? Yeah. Yeah, healthy is there. With my team. Fennel has an answer as well. Playing cricket. Yes. I would give more scores on that. I love playing cricket. Playing cricket. Local ground. Yeah. So and so forth. Yeah, you guys have got a good understanding. Nobody gave me an additional example of any other part, anything other than the list of words that is already present here. Thanks for Lloyd. Day one was not great. I know. I was disappointed with myself. That was the first time I was actually using a pen. Okay, you have other can learn team skills. Okay, team skills, Sportsmanship, that's a very good one. You can talk about sportsmanship. That's a very good one. Anybody else wants to try on the other part? Okay, leadership. Great. It's all related, isn't it? But these are additional points that you can quickly keep a note on. So in case you're running short of something, you can use these and get better. Yeah. So I hope this is a bit clear to you guys. Now I'm going to show you what I did. Yeah. So for what, I quickly wrote my points such as circuit training, different exercises like work whole body, varies each week, make it interesting. Sometimes do spin really hard. For where, I've named a name of the place, right? And who is it owned by? Yeah. When I've put like every Tuesday evening. For how I've written works every part of body, aerobic fitness, strong bones, balanced diet, right? And so many other points that you guys mentioned. And for why, to improve fitness for dancing. I like dancing, so I need to keep myself fit. So I've put dancing specifically there because there's one point, even if I'm running short of conversations, I can use that word and keep elaborating. So that's why I've precisely put up a point that can help me go ahead, even if I finish on the points that I've written. So working out with crew members creates team spirit, right? And as there were many couple of points that Funnel gave, right? Like leadership, sportsmanship, and so many other points. Yeah. So the last tip is quickly number your question prompt so you can structure and order your talk and achieve a cohesive and fluent speech, right? So once you're done with putting your prompt words, and having your keywords following up those prompt words, what you need to do is, obviously you would not have time to like rearrange them and write them again to structure and order them. I have a quick tip to do that. Yeah, so let's see what it is, how I did it. So right in front of each passage, each keyword or each question prompt, I put a number around with it, right? So because obviously when we are writing it down, we are in rush, right? We're quickly writing it down. So I might write, like what sort of a statement here, but like next that I want to follow up somewhere here. But the moment I write 1, 2 in quite big font, I can quickly catch it. Okay, so I'll start the discussion by saying what, then I want to talk about where, then I want to jump to how, right? Because obviously in your paper, with my personal experience, I'm saying because you're going to be, running short of time, you're going to scribble on the entire page, right? So mark it down to a big circle and write your numbers quite big and clear. So even if you give a look quickly, you can, get back to it. So that's a quick tip how to structure it down. You will not have time to sit and write, okay, so I did what, and then I'm going to go to where, and then I'm going to go to how. You will not have so much time. You can save time on doing all that. Instead, just number it down. Yeah, just number it down so you can quickly order yourself how to go one by one. That's how your cohesion would work as, right? Because it's very important to have a structured conversation. Yeah. So now what we're going to do, so those were the 3 step-by-step process to get your 1 minute bang on time, right? That's 1 minute is very important. So now we'll be doing a couple of questions quickly. So you can tell me how, like you will be approaching how we've done the previous question, right? So let's do this question quickly. And you guys are going to do it. I'm not going to be doing it. Describe a piece of good news you received. You should say what, when, where, and why. I'm not going to be answering this, guys. So what is the first thing that I'm going to be doing? What is the first thing that I'm going to be doing? So this is your blank paper here. You're going to tell me what is the first thing. What you guys can do is just quickly take a picture of this, and let's go to the next page. And consider that as a blank page. So first thing, what was the first thing I would do? I would quickly write my words. What, when, where, why. When, where, why. And I have to talk about some good news that I received. Good news received, right? And I have 4 of them present here. Who's gonna try? So I've done the step 1 already. I've listed down my question prompts, and now I'm gonna be adding more of question prompts here. Quickly. I don't wanna be doing this one, guys. So just quickly tell me. Good news received. Who's trying? You're supposed to use less than 30 seconds for this. Okay, we have answers. Okay, we have actually somebody doing the second part as well. Quite quick. So Waqas has answers. He says, "What is winning an award?" Okay, winning award. When midday, midday, email, someone special to share it with. This is a good point, actually. Why? Because in case you're running short of time, you could start a discussion on that special person. And this is a good technique, like you should put a few words in your answer, which which you can which you can actually go a lot elaborate on that. So have few words or phrases that will help you catch on them. Who else is trying, guys? This was a warning session that it needs to be interactive. If you want me to stop, I can stop, but let me know if you're trying. Who all are trying? Okay, Fennel has an answer. What is okay? Brother became father. Okay, that's a very good one. Brother becoming a father. And when last week. Next is where over the phone. Okay. Okay, as you were out of town. That's again a key point that you can use, funnel, when you can start a discussion about the town. Like in case you're done with points, you can start a discussion where you're talking about the town. What were you doing in the town? Why you couldn't come back? Like why did you miss that opportunity to be with your brother? How was your day in that town? What exactly do you go there for? You can like go ahead with that topic in case you're running short. So that could be a possible keyword that you can expand on, and why it's the best feeling. Yeah. Feelings. Other. Okay, you have a point for other as well. Yes. I also put up your 1 point down here, and Wakhasa's special person discussion here. And you have another one as well. Unfortunately, his wife had miscarriage earlier once, and hence it was the best feeling. Okay, so you can talk about a mishappening that happened. Yeah, and you can follow up your discussion from that. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, you can just start with like start a elaborate discussion on that. If you've quickly finished the rest of the discussion in like 1.5 minute, and you still have your 30 seconds going on. Who else is trying? There were so many people who joined in and are not responding. I do not know why. Nobody followed my warning that this class is going to be an interactive one. Anyways, so now you have couple of words already. So now what I'm going to do is, in case you want to start a discussion where you say that yes, one fine morning or last discussion, you can format it in whichever order you want. But right, so you need to just structure in your mind that yes, I want to start my conversation where I say, like, one fine morning when I got up, I got an email, right? So when did I get up? Like, I can make maybe one my first point, and I got an email my second point, and then I talk about what actually happened, right? So I could make that my point three, and then I will say why was it, like why was it so important, right? So that could be fourth point, right? Is you're just, it could be any order, but in your head you need to have your story formatted correctly. Yeah, so that's why you're going to quickly write your points, and then obviously at the end you can use your other point. Yeah, it was just a quick example. You can go ahead with any format that you want. So there's another example here, but since we are running short of time, you can obviously this PDF is going to be uploaded, so you can look at the question and practice yourself too, right? The question says, describe an invention that has changed people's life. This is again a very common possible question that you can see related to media, or like media in terms of social media or technological advancement. Yeah, those kind of topics are quite common, right? Or you can talk about any smaller inventions as well. You can talk about your mobile phones, you can talk about laptops, the fact that you can do things online, so many things. So there are a bunch of obviously common topics. So like for example, I've put few of them here, and how you can prepare here is for each of those points, you can quickly practice by writing like sub points on that particular topic. So that will help you build like a good in terms of good content that you can talk about. This is just for your practice. So when you're doing at when you're practicing at home, go ahead, go find I've put a few of them here. I can, in my next class, I'll put a few more, and if, in case you want a list of them, you can message me on different profiles as well. Like for example, I'll put up my Telegram channel name here. So for all those who are not connected with me there, I've, yes, that's the one there, and I'm gonna pin it up right at the top. So that's my Telegram channel name. So in case you have any additional queries, you can definitely get back to me. Yeah. So for example, if the most common speaking topics could be like architecture and building, art, advertising, books, and reading. These are all common words. So, but what you have to do is you start practicing by writing, have developing new words that, or connected words that you can talk about. Like you're developing your content, which is a lot stronger. Yeah. So I've put a few common points like architecture and building, art, advertising, books and reading, education, environment, food, friends, right? For example, let's just look at one that I've elaborated on. If you pick education, I've written your studies, favorite subject, favorite or influential teacher, school days, college, university, teaching methods, pupil behavior, technology in education, homeschooling, distance learning, studying abroad, education in developing countries, funding, right? So the moment you do these things, right, the moment you find your main word and you start writing on your own, you're getting a very good content to talk on. You're not, you having a good content to talk on, and you're quickly gathering memories and incidents that you can elaborately talk on. So what you can do is all these keywords, like use these keywords and get your own list of, like substitute words or phrases for it, right? So do that. So these are mine, but you can develop your own as well. Like towns and cities, very common one, transportation, travel and journeys, right? So do practice over them. So again, I've put up like how to begin. This is another very crucial point, guys, right? This is another very crucial point is how to begin your part two speaking, right? And so many people have been asking me over this as well. So as we all know, your first statement that you put up is a very important one, right? That suddenly catches the attention of the examiner, and it suddenly tells like how good you've understood your question. So I have a couple of options here that you can use to start your statements, like, right? So let's read what they are like. The one I'd like to tell you about is, my favorite was, I'd like to talk about, let me tell you let me tell you about, personally I have to say, the one who or that stands out is, I'm going to tell you about, right? You can use a lot more than this, but these are some statement that comes between being formal and informal, right? So you can start by using these words. Yeah. So I'm not suggesting to memorize, but obviously try and practice with these words is gonna give you a bit more score on your starting skills. Yeah. And I've written a note here as well, which is very important. Never repeat the question. Never repeat, right? Even when we are doing the writing modules, this is something that we always be careful with. You have to, obviously you have to introduce your statement by elaborating on the question, but make sure you're not even using even one word that is exactly present in the question. That's why I put up use synonyms, right? Use paraphrasing, right? Because obviously right at in your introduction line, you will explain about the question, right? You start a discussion that would directly connect with the question, but avoid using any word that is already present. You lose marks there. So be careful on that. Do not use any word. So I've put a few examples here. For example, describe something you do to stay healthy. I can start by saying, I do many things that contribute to a healthy lifestyle, but the one I'd like to tell you about is this, right? So here I'm saying I'm not exactly talking about what exactly the question statement is, but I'm incorporating in such a way that I can actually elaborate. I'm being a lot more descriptive about my topic. Next one. Describe a TV program you have watched recently. I have watched several good TV programs. So your main subject is there. And then what are you saying? I've watched several good TV programs recently, but my favorite was or is this one. And then you start following up from there. Next, you can practice more and keep writing more on this. Yes. So next point is describe a day out that you enjoyed. You can start by saying, I like to talk about the time when I went to the park with my best friend, right? So you're becoming a bit more descriptive. You're suddenly catching the eye. Yeah. Just a second, guys. I've got a couple of pop-ups here. Okay, Wakas is giving good examples as well. Since this is going to be there, guys, just keep putting up more examples. Since we're obviously running short of time today, we can actually I can like put up in the next class as well, and you can tell me your examples. You can come up with your examples. Obviously there could be so many possible options. I've just put mine. For example, describe a special friend. Let me tell you about my friend Shivangi. Is Shivangi here today? Generally she attends my class. I think I should, I'm not sure if she's present today, but anyways, so let me tell you about my friend Shivangi. You're certainly catching on a proper noun and you can start elaborating, and you're not actually just describing your question. Next, discuss the meaning of happiness for you. Personally, I would have to say that being happy is something. Go ahead. Yeah. So quick tips and tricks for the overall speaking module. Be confident, friendly, and formal at the same time, right? This is something that we generally do when we're meeting a person for the first time. Just treat it like that. When you meet a person for the first time, you like to be confident. At the same time, you want to be friendly, but at the same time, you want to maintain your dignity and you want to be formal. It's just like that. Be careful with vocabulary. Do not use low level words like bad or good. Instead, you can use pleasant, fabulous, awful, atrocious. You do not need to go into some very difficult words which you could fall over and mispronounce as well, but slightly on our upper hand, words that have slight upper hand. Then you are supposed to expand your answers. Do not give one word reply. That make sure you do not do that. For example, if they ask, did you have good food? Never ended by saying no or yes. They're actually not interested to know if you had good food or not. They're just trying to test your language. So speak more elaborately on that. You can start by saying, you can give an example. I had this, I ate this, I had. You can mention the food that you ate, and you can. That's how you can use. You use examples to elaborate more and more. Yeah. So do not give one word answers. Do not speak with a monotone, right? That the more you speak monotonously, it just shows that you're lacking confidence, right? You are not so confident about what you're talking over. So make sure, if there's something that you feel is exciting, it's an exciting news, just you can go up with your tone, go down with your tone, try and change your tones. Yeah. Exactly. Tone should be varying according to the expression. Exactly. Good one. Do not deviate a lot from the topic asked. Yeah. Sorry about that. So, in case you are, like, for example, if you're not very familiar with the topic and you're not feeling comfortable, you do not need to go right for it. Do not deviate a lot. You can just deviate a little bit, right? For example, what do you like to do the most? Yeah. So you start a discussion with you're getting confused, and you could have talked about so many things, right? But you start a discussion about food, and then you go again to some next topic and next topic and next topic, right? So do not do that. For example, if the question asks about balanced diet, right, you can stick to any discussion about food, water, exercise. You do not go to any other topic in, like, okay, in case if you're running short, try and have a follow up sub keywords, but do not deviate a lot. Next is, do not speak too quickly, slowly, or quietly. Yes, again, you quickly would quickly would make you go wrong with a lot of words, your grammar. So you do not need to rush over there. Slowly will again not be very good, and quietly, if they're not able to hear what you're saying, and if your pronunciation is not coming correct to them, you would lose marks. And do not worry about accent and time. Yeah, this is one point I mentioned before also, and I mentioned in my last class as well. Do not worry about the accent. Stick to whatever accent you have. It just needs to have the correct pronunciation. Yeah. So yes, so I'm now going to tell you about the new course that is coming up, since so many people were asking me queries regarding the writing module questions. So finally, I've launched a course that is starting from 19th of October, right, at 9:30 p.m. And as you can see, it's going to cover up all the questions that you would see in your task one, right, all the possible different types of question that you can see for both task one and again the different task two questions that you could possibly see. It's going to cover everything, and plus you'll have doubt clearing sessions where you can bring up any question or any doubt that you have from what we've discussed, or if you have additional more questions, you can put all of them together. And also you will have a special class that would cover your vocabulary and grammar specifically for your writing section. When you're writing, what should be your language, what should be your vocabulary, your grammar, everything is going to cover. And at the end, you'll have a mega quiz that will help you analyze your performance. You can analyze your performance. So this is starting from 19th of October, and all those who are interested can definitely enroll. And for enrollment, you need to, this is a plus course, guys, so you need to get a subscription for this, right? So for all those who are listening here for the first time, there are a couple of options. You can go for a subscription. 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, 12 month, and 24 month, right? So I personally recommend the 12 month course in case like it gives you an opportunity to have a good, good time to practice, because most of us here are either working or studying and do not have a lot of time to do. And since it's already a very expensive exam, make sure you prepare well before you give, because there's no point giving again and again. Yeah. And plus there's additionally so many advantages, right? So it gives you more than 30 plus live hours, classes, live lessons each and every day, right? And they are covered in different languages, and you get access to all the top educators. Even if you subscribe to my course and you want to listen to other educators as well, you're going to have access to all the educators. Yeah. And obviously there are so many new courses that are getting launched each and every day, right? And plus there's an additional 10% discount that you get if you use my code Fatma Meenaal, right? So when you're subscribing, use my code Fatma Meenaal, and you would get a 10% discount. And people who are already using Unacademy, right? You can share, you can use your points as well and get a 10% discount on that too. So you're getting an overall 20% discount. So that's relatively economical, right? Because you're preparing a very expensive exam, right? So make sure you prepare well before you go. So yes, to do your enrollments quickly before the class actually starts, that's on 19th October. Yeah. So and I put the times 9:30 p.m. just so that everybody is free with their dinner, with the school, college, office every time. So do enroll yourself as like quickly as possible. And if you have any queries, you can contact me on my social media profiles, right? So that's my Telegram channel that I've just put it up as well. I'm on Instagram, Facebook as well. So whichever one you're more comfortable with, you can definitely ping me up with any questions that you have regarding subscription or anything other than that as well. And if you like my class today, please do give a thumbs up, do review, and stay posted with all the upcoming class. The first thing you guys need to do, please go ahead and do the subscription before it's too late for 19th of October. I want to see all you guys on 19th of October. Yeah. So are there any more doubts here? Because I'm going to end the class now. Are there any doubts? Anybody wants to ask anything? Any doubts on anything? No doubts? So if you like the class, do give a thumbs up, yeah? And stay posted on my different social media profiles to get updates on any classes that are coming up, yeah? Any more questions? Then I can give a couple of more minutes. Otherwise, I'll end my class. No questions? I teach quite good, isn't it? It's all clear to everyone. So, okay, then I'll take a leave now. Thanks a lot for joining in, guys, and I hope to see you in my other classes as